gather around, y'all people, let me tell you all a story of something I once loved when I was a child. It's a series of books that features a bunch of little feline creatures, and they live out there in the great old English wild. And it's all about cats, and they hunt and fight and spat, and they don't know words for things like people and cars. Now Jaron, Mitchell, and Toasty, your creators and co-hosties, are gonna tell you all about it, and then we can all be stars. They're gonna tell you all about it, and then we can all be stars.
Toasty, come quick. Oh.
Yeah?
It's over for me. In my final moments, I must make a decision for the future of the podcast.
Can you fucking hurry this up?
The next leader of the podcast will be Mitchell Crispi.
Oh, okay. No, that makes complete sense.
No, I
think
didn't
I
want
did
to
it
do
wrong.
this. I don't have fucking time for this. No, fuck.
Wait, guys.
Fuck.
I think I did it wrong.
Yeah, you did.
You did it perfectly right.
It's going to
It's
be
okay.
Toasty. I think, probably.
You
Okay,
just
bye.
gave it to me, and now you're taking it away? What the fuck, dude?
I don't want
deal with it.
responsibility.
The only people who were here to hear about it were Toasty's close personal friends. So,
Me and you.
and Craig.
Craig
And
Craig heard
Craig.
about it.
Have we talked about Craig on the podcast? I can't remember.
I don't know.
The podcast, which is Stars in the Making, the Warriors podcast, hosted by Jaron D Ratman, he, him.
Mitchell Crispi, they, them.
Toasty Valentine, he, him.
Toasty, if Jaron died and tried to give either one of us reins to the podcast, do you think we both would just kind of like silently stop taking responsibility?
I think we just find someone else to replace Jaron.
You guys would keep doing this podcast without me?
I mean, we've made a commitment.
That's so beautiful. I just
I would
assumed if I
podcast.
died, you guys would just quietly retire the podcast.
Uh,
I was only reading these fucking books because he keeps telling me to.
I'm like, I am sort of the producer at times, so I would probably keep something going. I need to boss somebody around.
It would probably not change the percentage of time that I spend forgetting to edit the podcast.
You would, like, a year would go by without doing the podcast, and you'd wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, it's an upload day! And then go back to sleep.
Oh, boy. You know, the thing you don't understand, Jaron, is you've got a line of people waiting to take your spot. Your spot
Do we?
specifically. Yeah.
Oh, wow,
we've
I
got,
thought people were lining up to replace me.
No, you're irreplaceable. If we get rid of the only one of us with any intellectual additions to this podcast, a
If I'm
podcast
not
with
here,
Jaron
who's-
and I and anybody else would be just like every other podcast.
If I'm not here, who's going to tell you guys to go pee 10 minutes before the recording starts, and then you
Yeah.
don't do it?
It's gonna remind me to fill my big-ass Barbie cup. If I died and you guys could replace me on the podcast with any person, with a person dead or alive, which would you choose?
Alive, because a dead
I
person would not be very fun to talk to.
A dead person would not make good audio. A dying
just-
person could make good audio, but
I'm just going to puppet you around like Weekend at Bernie style. You're not quitting this fucking podcast.
Weekend at Rat Boys.
That's kind of similar to my answer. I was going to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was very funny in those movies he was in.
Awesome.
But here's
I
the
know
real
what
answer.
movies those
You're
were.
irreplaceable. So the
Aw.
podcast would just fizzle out.
Well, anyway, this is a book review episode.
Oh, yeah.
We just read Warriors Series 2, Book 4. I might just start saying, like, on the social media announcements, just saying, like, 2x4, 2x4.
2x4.
Warriors Series 2, Book 4.
This book is so structural. And I mean that in a bad way.
This book is a perfect 8 square feet. It's the biggest book I've ever read in my life.
It's subtitled
time-
Starlight. We didn't say that part.
Yes, it is called Starlight.
One time I told my friend someone was as straight as a 2x4, and they told me that was the gayest shit they'd ever heard.
If you find a
2x4?
2x4 that's actually straight.
No, the
You
fact that
gotta
I
show
said
all
someone
your-
was as straight as a 2x4. They're like,
Oh,
nobody
okay.
would say that.
I thought they were saying 2x4s are inherently gay. And I'm like, I don't know if we
Maybe
should
a little
project
bit.
identities onto planks of wood.
With my amateur woodworking experience, I thought you were talking about how many 2x4s have a little bit of warp or weft and
Yeah,
aren't perfectly straight.
essentially all of them, and then that's all you have for your woodworking project in high school, and you're desperately trying to put something together.
Got this bent ass wood. What am I supposed to do with this? Well,
Okay.
let's start talking about this book. For this book, I feel like we can take a slightly less chronological approach.
Okay, good.
I don't know if you guys feel the same, because
I do.
I do feel the same.
once again we have the issue where there's a split perspective, and in one of those perspectives not a lot happens. And
That's-
also in the other perspective not a lot happens.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I feel like something happens in both perspectives half the time.
So there's something
lot of-
interesting. Go ahead.
It's a lot of internal development on this one game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this book is a lot of like character development and like relationship progression, and obviously setting up for the next 2 books to come, for the finale of this series. And not a lot of like events. And obviously like we kind of needed a book like this because the last book was nonstop situations.
can I give like a basic synopsis, and then we can like hop into discussing individual things?
Yeah, go
Yeah, a synopsis is a good idea because this episode was like the West Wing of the books so far. Like it was so talking about what other people are thinking and politicking. It's so politicky. It's very
So this-
First, yeah.
For sure, yeah.
So this book is we see our cats finally get to the territory that they're supposed to be in. They send out patrols to run around the lake and see where would be best to have a camp. Every clan finds a good camp to settle down in. It takes a while for them to agree on a gathering place. They just choose where they initially found, and they're like, we'll find somewhere better later. And then most of the book is just ThunderClan settling into the camp, while Medicine Cats desperately try to find the new Moonstone because they're like, if we can't talk to our ancestors, are we really supposed to be here? And honestly, that's about it. Oh, there's a big fight at the end. There's one big fight.
There's
But
one
we'll
big
get to
fight.
that.
One big fight.
Um,
Huge Warrior Cats style foreshadowing happens in the fight. We'll get to that.
the main like escalating conflict of this book happens off screen. It happens in Wind Clan, which we don't have a perspective for, which is why I would like to talk about how much this could have been a Crowfeather book.
I was really surprised.
I would have... No, I get that we need Leafpaw because she's the medicine cat and we need her to find the moon pool to connect with StarClan. This would have been like the peak Warriors book if it was like a Brambleclaw Crowfeather perspective. Because the stuff developing with Brambleclaw's side of the story is so interesting. I wouldn't want to sacrifice that. And then the Leafpaw stuff is like the same as it has been, kind of.
But I really enjoyed her perspective, so I wouldn't want to lose it, is the problem.
Yeah, that's funny.
It would be a
This-
trade-off. You just have to like kind of place her story beats in a different book. Because I
I
would have
thought you were
loved to have seen the Wind Clan conflict escalate from a Wind Clan cat's perspective.
But it's also like, it feels a bit like a retreading of Tiger Star's betrayal, so did we need to see it again?
I guess
like,
it
we can
also,
guess what's
if we had
happening.
seen the Crowfeather perspective, it could have like eliminated the mystery of like who at the end is telling the truth, Hawkfrost or Mudclaw, because we would have seen that like development from an insider perspective. But
I want to get away from the idea of which cat as a narrator would be better for the plot. I just want to see Crowfeather's perspective and Tawny Pelt's perspectives. Like, I want to see the
Yeah.
inside of their heads like we've seen for the rest of the cats. And in that way, because so much happened in Wind Clan, that probably would have been a good book for Crowfeather. You know, things would had to be a little bit different maybe, but like, you know, I
I
thought
was
you were going to
definitely
suggest.
missing Tawny Pelt's perspective. I wanted to see what was going on in Shadow Clan.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
saw like
it just-
very little of them, these books.
it
this book.
doesn't seem like in this series they're very interested in using Tawny Pelt. Because,
It's so sad.
since the beginning of the series, outside of her on the journey to the Sundrown Place, she's been the most, like, backseated out of all of the journeying cats.
It's sad.
Yeah.
She's such a good character.
She's such a good character, and she's so close to Brambleclaw's internal conflict right now that I want her to be more active.
Yeah.
Because she could be a counter to the like radicalization process he's undergoing, because she is someone who actually does understand his pain and his situation, just on the other side, where like her clan thinks lesser of her because she's ThunderClan, his clan thinks lesser of him because of Tiger Star. It's kind of like opposite sides of the same issue. I hope that we end up seeing them reaching out to each other in some way and overcoming the draw of Hawkfrost, which I love in this book. I really like Hawkfrost in this book.
Yeah, I mean, Hawkfrost is finally an interesting character. For a while, he was just vaguely spooky, nothing really going on with him. Powerful guy. But now he finally, like, he has, like, political motivations that get uncovered in this book that, like, are really interesting and effective in a way that even Tiger Stars weren't really a lot of the time.
Because he's doing a lot in this book to set himself apart as a villain from Tiger Star.
Yeah. But I thought, to go back just a second, I thought you were suggesting that like a Crow Feather Leaf Pool perspective book could be good. Because you know what else? If we're just one major thing, Leaf Pool throughout this book has like the most half-hearted like build up to be Crow Feather's new like love interest, and then at the end, I'm pissed about it. I'm pissed
Crow
about
Feather
it.
Leaf Pool hetslop is insane.
It's the hetslop is awful.
I was clamoring to talk about this too, because I was just fucking baffled. Like throughout the book, they kind of think about each other a little bit, and then they confess their love to one another.
Well, it's
like, when did they have time to fucking get to know one another? They literally never talk to each other. What are they on about?
The entire book, Crowfeather's just like a brat and an asshole towards Leafpaw, and then like at the end of the book, she like saves his life or something. He saves her life, and then he's suddenly like, I can't deal with these feelings. I love Feathertail, but I love you too. And I'm like, what?
Where?
And I understand that, like, I'm sure that the aggressive behavior is like projection, because he is probably mad at himself that he's falling in love with someone else so soon after Feathertail.
But how? How is he falling in love with her?
Also how?
She's just so. We don't get enough. Nobody really mentions it, but she's beautiful cat.
I'm assuming it's just because she's kind of similar to Feathertail in disposition.
Leafpool is the biggest lesbian I've ever met in my fucking life. She lesses out with every goddamn female cat that enters her perspective. She's chasing a ghost woman constantly, and then it's like, but I love Crowfeather. Where? When? Why? And how?
Like, if they wanted us to ship them, she should like spend time with him. Like when she chases Leaf, fucking what's her fucking god? There are too many names.
Spotted Leaf.
When she chases Spotted Leaf to the new like meeting place for the Star Clan, and she does it with Sorreltail, Les Cat number 1. Like that could have been a great time to spend time with Crowfeather.
They also make Sorreltail straight too.
Sorreltail and Brackenfur. Brackenfur is unk as hell. What's going on?
Why is he looking at her?
He was a warrior in like book 2, and she wasn't born until like book 4.
Somebody come get this man. Somebody get fucking the catfish guys on this.
I get that.
The catch a predator guys on this.
I'm probably just not supposed to think about the age gaps, but it is also weird with like how humanized the characters are to not.
I think that you're supposed to forget who is who. Like, I think
that's probably also true.
You're supposed to be like, oh, Bracken for whoever that is, whatever. It's just, because if it was a Crowtail perspective, then we could have seen why he was falling in love with her. That's one big problem solved. Like, that's another reason that I was like, how come it's not
Well, we had Leafpool's perspective, and it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But he's the one who confesses, is why, in my mind, it would be nice to see from his eyes. Like, she has the whole, like, so many, like, a few times she's like him, I hate every hair on his head. And that's like, that's not enough.
I have in my notes, they took Leafpaw to the conversion camps between books.
Yeah.
No, they did.
We can cut that out.
They could have added the
I would
books.
be so curious to know our audience's like feelings on the crow feather leaf pool thing because it was so baffling to me.
From what I remember being in the fan base as a kid, people don't like it.
Yeah, as they shouldn't.
I like Leaf Pool a lot, so I don't hold
I love
anything
her,
against
yeah.
her.
Mitchell, do you
It
want to know
does
a
make
fun
me
fact
dislike-
about
yeah.
yourself? You called Spotted Leaf Pool several times in our Series 1 reviews.
Good. I'm
You just came
omniscient.
up with that
That
name
prediction.
by accident.
I have something to confess to you guys. I have read all of these books 3 times, and I've been hiding it by making
Then you would
purposeful
get at
mistakes.
least some name rights. I don't believe this.
No.
It's
I'm
like-
saying
well,
I'm
it's
doing it
like
on
in
purpose.
Into the Spider-Verse when he turns the test in with 0 correct answers, and the teacher's like, if you didn't know all the answers statistically, you would have gotten a 50% on this test. So Mitchell gets every name wrong. That should be our tell, that Mitchell knows all of the names.
See, Jacob gets it. Thank you, Jacob.
True.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I've never read the book. Anyway,
Also,
I think-
I wanted to say one thing about the like shipping of characters. I feel like, in fairness to the authors, they have to find pairings that aren't related, which must be incredibly difficult.
That's why there's so many inter-clan romances.
Because it's like, oh shit, yeah, Brackenfur is like 1,000,000 years old, but he's not related to Sorreltail.
I think
so
that's an
guess
issue
that's
they're
fine.
having with like some of the recent books that have come out, because I think there's like a pairing between characters that seems like they're pushing it, but those characters are like cousins.
I
Just
I feel like that's
as
not
the
that
family,
crazy.
as the family tree weaves and no new characters enter the clan.
that's okay. Vicky's too obsessed with killing cats is one problem. If not so many fucking cats died, maybe there'd be more options. Like,
Yeah. Oh, and all the important cats are Firestar's descendants, so they're not gonna die.
Maybe White Kit could have been right for Sorreltail, but
yeah,
you
exactly.
got taken by the fucking hawk.
Send the woe hawk upon ye.
Yeah. Relationships or finding relationships that aren't related is no excuse for delesing.
So
although
true.
So
she's a
crazy.
rogue. She's completely unrelated. Actually, no, Tiger. Never mind. Tiger Star. I guess Tiger Star is actually related to ThunderClan somehow. I don't know how distant those.
Tiger Star is secretly Firestar's half brother. Whoa! No, that's not true.
No, yeah.
I made that up.
Okay, what are our thoughts on this book? We were so mad about Leafpool and Crowfeather.
I really like this book. Like I said,
I really like this book. It was good. Other than
the
that part.
really, really good stuff in this book is like really, really good. And the Leafpool Crowfeather stuff, it happened so late that it all of the times that Leafpaw was like, "Oh, this handsome Wind Clan cat," but no, I shan't. I'm a medicine cat. I'll never know what it's like to be that in love. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I know it's gonna happen.
What I do enjoy is the exploration of a medicine cat's perspective, where she has like a deep realization that she's never gonna have what other cats have, as like having kids and being mated for life. And I'm like, wow, that is a sad subject to have to explore for her. And it's crazy that realization came this late in her like medicine cat journey.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that there's a scene in the midst of the Brambleclaw and Squilf. Squilp has been promoted to Squilf now.
That's true.
She got
She's
her
now
warrior
Squilf.
name.
I
At
don't like the way
she
it
got her warrior
sounds.
name at the beginning of the book, so now she's Squilf. Squirrel Flight is an insane name, and I love it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of insane names in this one.
It's
actually.
very obvious that Squirrel Flight and Leaf Pool are like Firestar's kids, because you've got like Thornclaw and Ashfur and Sorreltail, and then Leaf Pool and Squirrel Flight. These cool ass
Also,
names.
Leafpool is such a gorgeous name. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God she didn't get a fuck ass name like Squirrel Flight.
Leaf Leg.
I didn't realize they could make Squirrel Paw's name harder to remember.
I had to fight so hard to not call her Squirrel Flight in past recordings, because that's just like how I know her
Also,
best.
can we talk about how crazy a prefix squirrel is in the first place? We could
I'm
have
sure
gone
we
with
already did, but
anything
it is
else.
crazy.
I'm getting crazy deja vu right now. Anyway,
There's gotta be a cat
Um,
joke in there.
Bob Garbinger.
Deja Mew.
Deja
Mew.
Mew.
There you go.
Thank you, Toasty.
That's why you're irreplaceable.
Can we talk about Mudclaw?
Oh yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm glad you both really like this book. I like this book. I personally thought it was a little bit weaker than some of the other past ones because
Honestly, I think I liked it just because it was like a bit of return to form. I was just happy to have like forest squabbles again.
yes, I definitely enjoyed that it was a bit of a respite and it feels like set up for a lot of good classic stuff coming up. I think maybe I'm being a little picky because I saw a lot of it coming.
That's yeah.
Is maybe like nothing really super duper surprised me. It just felt like where everything was leading. And in that vein, Mudclaw being crusty old asshole is so, I guess in one way I could say very obvious. In another way I could say finally he gets his chance to be the villain he is.
There was a moment at the beginning of this book where Mudclaw is being combative about, like, sitting in as leader, and Firestar kind of empathizes with him, which I thought was really nice, because Firestar was in the exact same situation at the end of Blue Star's tenure. And there's one point where Brambleclaw inner monologue describes Mudclaw, and I'm like, this is the first time this motherfucker's ever been described. He always just has been before, but
He's
now
always
it's
just
like
been an asshole.
everyone in the forest knows that Mudclaw is one of the most combative cats in the forest, and I'm like, oh, we're caring about Mudclaw now. Make me
Finally.
care about Mudclaw. I'm in on it, and I like the conflict that comes from this. I think it's pretty well set up. Tallstar, kind of a dumbass for only having ThunderClan cats present when he named One Whisker as the new deputy. Because,
Yeah, like to explain. If you're not familiar with the book,
Go for it.
Tallstar finally kicks the fucking bucket, which we all knew was going to happen. Like, the second they get there, he's like, all right, my time is now. And then he has, like, Firestar and Brambleclaw in his den, and he names One Whisker his new deputy so that he can become leader, because he's like, well, Mudclaw sucks. And we all know
he's
that.
like, Mudclaw has the strength of a great warrior, but the future in the clans lies in friendship, and he will never have that.
To which Brambleclaw internal monologues. I remembered this so clearly because he does it throughout the entire book, and it feels kind of weirdly out of place to me. He goes, "Is it?" It's just anytime somebody's like, "We should be friends," he's always like, "Should we?" It's like, wasn't that your whole thing last book? Like,
Yeah, he goes through a process of
He
this
goes through a
book, that's
lot
for
in this
sure.
book.
yeah, but he says Mudclaw's not going to be a good leader because he's too much of a crusty old bitch, as Toasty would say. And
Dusty
right.
old bitch, thank you.
oh, I'm sorry,
No, Dusty Old
crusty
Bitch was Tiger Star. We need
Yeah.
a new one for
Sorry,
Mudclaw.
he's a
He can be
crusty old bitch because
He's crusty because he's
Muddy,
covered in
yeah.
dried mud.
Blech. It's all crinkly, you know, and it makes those like hexagon patterns and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is an interesting conflict.
Yeah,
I
I think it's pretty well set up to the point that, like, Mudclaw doesn't look entirely wrong in the eyes of the average person, because to an outsider perspective, it could look like Firestar's just lying to put his friend in the leadership position in WindClan.
And like they harp on this a little, like he doesn't say the right words. Tallstar doesn't say the right words. He's just like, quick, I'm panicking, I'm dying. Cancel this thing, make the other thing true. And it's like, that's not really how the ritual's supposed to go, but I guess One Whisker is going to be. And then my favorite part about the conflict that makes it actually sell, I think, is that One Whisker kind of isn't doing a great job at first, or for like most of the book. Like he's really has a lot to learn, and
But he's never had the lead. He
never had the
hasn't been
lead.
deputy at all.
he wasn't even. Yeah,
I mean, we saw, like, how Fireheart adjusted to being deputy. It took him, like, a whole half a book.
yeah.
It's like
but it
One
really
Whisker
makes
himself
series.
is panicking. And to
Yeah.
make things worse, they, at this point, don't have the moon pool or moonstone yet, so he
Yeah, so he
cannot
can't
be
get his
made
knives.
leader.
He can't get his name or his lives, so...
Well, I guess they do give him his name because they just instantly start calling him that. But
Well,
And then he
Crowfeather
goes,
calls
"Don't
him
call
One
me that."
Star. Crowfeather calls him One Star once, and then One Whisker's like, no, we can't do that yet.
oh, does he? I don't remember that.
Yeah, and then they call him One Whisker for the rest of the book.
We loved him for so long for being the nice friend in WindClan who was the foil to Mudclaw, and now what that translates to is conflict points. Like he gives up a swath of their land to ThunderClan, and the ThunderClan warriors are like, Okay. I don't know if everybody would be happy with you for doing this, but we'll take it for now. And that's just really interesting to me to see how like being like they're always kind of talking about like it always has to be four clans, but they're really putting their money where their mouth is now in this book with showing what being too friendly does to the clan relationships.
It'll be
Also, Firestar still won't name a deputy, which just
Yeah.
continues to be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and Brambleclaw wants it so bad.
Oh,
He-
are we gonna go into Brambleclaw now?
He-
Because obviously
Yes.
that's a whole.
There's
thing.
a lot. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into the like 7-course meal that is Brambleclaw's journey in this book?
I think we could talk just a little bit about like what do we think about the new territories, right? There's a lot of like I don't know. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the details
'cause
because it's the first book.
I
there
looked at the
maps in
map,
this book?
but yeah, there are.
I
But
think I
again, in
skipped
my
them.
head, I'm gonna simplify it like crazy. In my head, it looks like a Simon Says board with just
Yeah,
four
exactly.
quadrants
Yeah,
around a
basically.
circle.
With a cool,
That's not
mysterious
what it actually
island.
looks like, but in my head, that's what it is because it makes it easier to understand.
Yeah. But my favorite thing about like a book like this where they're exploring new territory is thinking about like I guess it feels different than like going on the journey because that's not their home. But this being their new home, I love like thinking about the mysteries that lie around. Like there's the abandoned two-egg house, there's the island, there's like new kitty pets, and all of these things make me think about like how they're going to come into play in the future. Like there's no way that
Yeah.
island's
Yeah.
not going to be important. That island's perfect, like a perfect setting for something crazy to happen. The abandoned two-egg nest, like what's up with that? They're living in what seems to be implied to be like a quarry. Like I don't quite get it based on the descriptions, but
Yeah, it seems like they're living on a lake where people frequently vacation.
It seems
but
like
they
it's just
don't
like a
live there
summer
full
camp to
time.
me.
Yeah.
A summer
Oh, a summer
camp.
camp.
yeah, but the roof is
they
falling in
also-
and stuff. Like it's definitely abandoned, and
They
not just,
mention
like,
Sure,
an
yeah.
abandoned thunder path that's been grown over.
yeah,
and
like a
I'm
dirt
curious
road.
The
about
old
what the deal
Thunder
with that
Path by the
is.
Thunder Clan camp.
Yeah. I
But
did
they-
avoid the map until reading all of it so I didn't get spoiled on where their
Yeah.
camps went. Even though, of course, they immediately found one perfect for all of them. Like,
Yeah,
just slotting in.
that
I
was
knew
the part of
gonna
the book.
happen, but
That was the part of the book that like made me lessen. Like the first like third, I think it is like while they're like exploring, because they do that thing where they're like, who knows if we're gonna find a place for River Clan, and then like 3 pages later, like this is great for River Clan. Who knows if we're gonna find a place for Shadow Clan? This would be perfect for Shadow Clan. And I'm like, why am I reading this? But other
Yeah.
than that, the rest of
That's-
the book's pretty good.
Can I say something that might be controversial?
Sure.
That's kind of how I feel about how they find the moon pool.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
I feel a
Oh.
little bit like they stretch it over the entire book to the point that like the prologue is about like the Cats and Star Clan find this pool and they're like, this is where we will communicate with the clans as long as they can find it. And they spend a long time in Leafpaw's perspective, not really actively looking for a place. Which I guess like how would you look for a place like that when you don't know what you're looking for?
Mhm.
But I don't know. But then it's just like near the end of the book, she has this dream and she goes and finds it, and that's just kind of it.
Yeah.
It
As
felt
always,
a little anticlimactic, a little bit just like, here you go. I
guess-
was assuming that they like wouldn't be able to communicate with StarClan at all until they found this place, but then Spotted Leaf just like appears in her dreams anyway.
I think I enjoyed the scene after they find it so much that I forgot about how, like, meh getting there is.
Yeah.
yeah, getting there is really not anything because I think that's a really interesting point that I agree with that I wouldn't have thought of. They don't look for it like at all the whole time. It's necessary for them not to have it for so much of the other conflicts. Like I don't hold it against them, but it's not like Spotted Leaf. No, fuck.
I mean-
it's not like Leafpool had to go on an adventure or anything or go through a ton of trials and tribulations to find it. So it kind of feels a little anticlimactic in that way. But like you said, the description is so good and like
It's gorgeous, yeah.
I felt so clearly like I understood how special this place felt that I really enjoyed it.
And also, like, the Medicine Cats did tell people to look out on their territories for any tunnels that led anywhere, or, you know, like, they were trying, but they all were just exploring their territories. Not
Yeah.
specifically looking for a moonstone, but there was already so much ground to cover. They're like, look out for something weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair
It
enough.
was
Like
a
I
little
said,
anticlimactic, but
it's
again,
a little bit hard to like build up and describe a story around looking for something that you don't know
where
what
it
you're
is,
looking
yeah.
for.
But
Also, as far as like waiting for a sign from them, they also had to travel there. Like they described, they have to travel through the stars to the new place. So I don't know, maybe they're just a little late.
yeah, but it could have been more fun if maybe it wasn't like always just Spotted Leaf coming to the fucking rescue. I wonder.
Yeah.
We should start taking bets on how much that's going to happen in the next 2 books of this
Oh
series.
god.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to me that her ass does not even get the rest in death. She's just always working for fucking Firestared and his family. Let her take a little nap.
I thought with her increased presence, I was like, actually, this might be a really good opportunity to talk about. Like, I thought she and Leafpool were gonna have a conversation about like being a medicine cat and loving somebody, but like, there's no like advice given or anything. Like, maybe next book. Maybe there's room for that next book, but it could have been interesting, but it didn't happen.
Here's the issue with that.
Spotted Leaf is like giving her advice on how to like save someone from drowning or whatever, and is like speaking to her directly. But she hasn't done that again with anything else, which is a little strange to me.
My issue with the whole like Spotted Leaf and Leafpool coming to terms with each other and talking about loving someone as a medicine cat, even though they're not supposed to, is that is then trying to further push the premise to me that Spotted Leaf loved someone, which she did not. That did not happen. She talked to Firepaw like 3 times.
She says it out loud. She says it to somebody like, "I'll always love your father." Doesn't she?
Yeah, that happened after she died.
Well, clearly, as we learned from fucking Leafpool and Crowfeather, you don't even have to talk to each other to fall in love with warrior cats. You could just stare at each other a couple times.
She fell in
That's
love
good
with
enough.
him at the very moment of her death when he was nowhere nearby. And now she's in StarClan loving Firestar forever.
Yeah. Speaking of other just real StarClan religiosity things that seem a little too easy, Feathertail's ghost is allowed to be here too, and she's like, I just get to live in both worlds.
I'm okay with that, because that to me
I'm okay with it.
sells my headcanon that she was the dying warrior who led them to the new territory.
That makes sense.
I still choose to believe that is true. There's nothing in the books that can disprove that, and the fact that she can move between like being near her brother and being near her love and her clans makes me happy. I'm just glad that that just makes me happy.
I'm like,
I guess
think
it's
it's fine
unprecedented.
because they also later explore with Tiger Claw, Tiger Star, the fact that you don't have to walk with StarClan. There is other places you can be.
Yeah. That's a good point. We should talk about Brambleclaw now because that relates to that. But that was also a big bomb. I was like, oh, so it's not necessarily StarClan. It's that all cats become ghosts of some sort. It's like,
which is crazy.
The last thing kind of with the Leafpool side of this book that I want to talk about is Mothwing. Because we get the troubling revelation that Mothwing is an atheist medicine cat.
Yeah, and then Leafpool goes, but you had the sign with the moth's wing. How can you not believe it? She goes, oh yeah, that was, and then
she
gets
starts
cut
to
off.
confess
And I'm like,
to something dubious and then cuts herself off.
it wasn't real. It was fake.
Yeah.
There was no moth's wing.
So that's very scary for the future of RiverClan.
it feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? Her revelation or her reveal.
I mean,
yeah.
Not super. She always had like mega anxiety around being a medicine cat, and I guess if you don't believe in StarClan, you don't see the like divine helping you heal. You're just some guy having to memorize a bunch of herbs.
Yeah.
Like
That's why I only go to really religious doctors, because I know that they have the confidence
I only go to
of
spiritual
God.
healers.
what it's like living in the South.
Yeah.
I believe in alternative medicine, healing through StarClan.
Yeah.
The other thing with Mothwing that I found interesting, and this might only be me because I was on the conspiracy theory Mothwing is secretly also evil train, that when Leafpaw, she had not gotten her name yet at this point. I'm trying to like use the name based on when in the book I'm talking about. It probably doesn't matter. I could probably just call her Leafpool. Leafpool. At one point, when she's talking to Squirrelflight about Hawkfrost, I think, she talks about the encounter with Sorreltail in the second book, where Sorreltail, like, hunted over RiverClan territory by accident. And Mothwing, in the book that she's referencing, Mothwing talks Hawkfrost out of it by, like, scheming with him for a second. to get him to like, if you do this, it'll be a favor to ThunderClan, and then they'll owe us later. In this book, they say it took Mothwing convincing him not to cause trouble between the clans to let Sorreltail go, which just isn't what happened. Because she tried to do that, and Hawkfrost was like, but I want trouble between the clans. We can beat them easy.
True.
Yeah.
2 different people wrote these.
Which brings me to, I wasn't going to talk about this because I was going to save this for a trivia episode. But apparently the last book, Dawn, was originally going to be like a franchise finale. It was going to be the last Warriors book. They were going to end the series after that. But then because the first series was such a huge hit, the publishers like ordered more books. They wanted more. So they extended this into a full 6-book series. It was just going to end with them like getting to their new territory and like sunset, they're home, they're safe, everything's fine. So my conspiracy theory, my conspiracy theory is that some of the Hawkfrost and Mothwing stuff might have been inserted into drafts of the first 3 books because it feels a little inconsistent with how they're characterized now between the first half of the series and the second half. But
interesting. That's an interesting
I don't know
idea.
if that even occurred to you guys. I went into this book knowing that fact, so I was maybe more on the lookout for it.
No, I would never have assumed they were going to end it at the last book because it's very strange to do a 6-book series and then just 3 more standalone books.
The thing is, I don't even think we could ask the authors about that because I don't know if they'd remember.
I don't know whose idea it was to write a 4th book, but it wasn't me.
Oh, Vicky. The Warrior Cats wiki, Jaron brought this up a few days ago or something. Apparently on the Warrior Cats wiki for this book specifically, the original cover has a cat and there's a quote. It says, Vicky believes that Leafpaw is featured on the original cover. It's like, what do you mean believes?
It's either
Leafpaw
Leafpaw
gray,
or
right?
Squirrelflight. It's one of the two
Gotta be.
because it's an orange cat, but...
Because I'm pretty sure Leafpool is on the cover of mine because it's a little cat looking up at the stars bewildered. And that has Leafpool energy.
The reprint is Mistyfoot for some reason.
Which is funny.
She's not even in this
She
one.
plays a...
She's barely even in this book.
She plays a small role.
She's in the beginning of this book, and then she's at the very end of this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is she
But they
on the
can't keep
cover?
track of... If you look at the mistake section of the wiki, they call cats every color in the book except the correct one, and also
is
they give them
true.
different eye colors constantly.
It's
They'll
very funny.
call them by someone else's name. They don't know.
Yeah.
I hope later they just have little, like, name cards on their desk with a picture of all the cats so they can be like, hold on.
They've got like a
Gray
guest
fur with
board
amber
up
eyes.
with portraits of all
Yeah.
the cats.
I can only
They're like,
imagine
which characters
the process.
have we used recently? Flick down, flick down, flick down, flick down. Let's do an Ash Fur book next.
Yeah, I can only imagine
so
the
many
process for
books.
making the graphic novels where all the artists had to sit down with the authors and be like, give
What
it
do
to
they
me
fucking
fucking
look-
straight. What color are their eyes? Every cat, eye color, now, list on my desk.
Mothwing, blue eyes or not? Brambleclaw, amber eyes or not? Tell me.
Exactly.
And some of the cats, their
Interrogation
eye
rule.
color is so important. And then
Victoria
they-
Holmes is like, I don't remember. You can't make me say it. I refuse to talk without my cat lawyer present.
Yeah.
I
like-
can't even blame them. I would also mess it up crazy style.
Crazy stuff.
I fuck that shit up crazy style.
I guess we do mess it up crazy style and because we have a podcast about it and it happens constantly, but
Yeah.
surely they have like a notes binder. I don't know. I don't have a notes binder.
This is a rant I want to go on. It's very short and it's not very serious.
I'm sitting back.
There's a quote while they are exploring the lake. They find the quote unquote half bridge. It's just a dock in the lake. And they find a big wooden leaf shaped thing. And Squirrelflight is like, what the hell is this? I've never seen anything like this. And Mistyfoot says, oh, I think Two Legs call it a boat. You cannot say something like
There's no
that.
way. There's no way. I forgot about this.
Because we live in a world where cars are monsters. No two-leg has ever said the word car around a warrior cat.
Mistyfoot really meant, you mean the fucking boat?
You mean
Like
the
they don't
fucking
call
boat?
cars monsters.
That's
There's
a
two
sea
things wrong
monster.
with it also. They also say they used to bring them on the river sometimes, Fucking when? Everybody has access to the river at some stretch. Like, why would RiverClan be the only ones that know what a boat is?
Also, why do they know what a boat is called, but not a fucking dock? They keep calling
That's
the
what I'm
dock like a
saying.
weird
They
bridge
can't
thing
just
that goes in the
say-
water.
They can't just say the two legs call it this, because now we are introducing the fact that the cats can understand the words the two legs say. They may not know what they mean, but they like hear the same sounds, and yet they don't know what a car is.
In general, go ahead, Toasty.
I do love during this scene, Brambleclaw's like, how the fuck do they fish with their big old paws?
That's cute.
Mistyfoot says they use them for fishing, which means that they watch them use fishing poles. They watch them pull fish out of the water and say, I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there, but they're getting fish out of it, so we're going to call it fishing. Like,
Yeah.
in general, this brings into question how they even understand people. Because, like, when it happens in this book, for instance, when they intrude on the kitty pet's territory on accident, they say the two-leg opens up that back door and just starts making, like, crazy screeching sounds. Like, they don't say, they say, come inside, like they can understand the syllables. So how do they understand the syllables for boat? How does Firestar understand the syllables for vet in the first book?
Have we considered that specific two-leg is just a crazy person, and they walk into their backyard and go, to get their cat to
Hear
come
me
inside.
out. Hear me out. Firestar could speak English because he was raised around the two legs, and over acclimating, he would understand what they're saying, like regular pets do. They understand that, like, walk means walk because they say it and then they go do the thing. Misty Pool understands English because she's a multi-dimensional being who understands every language.
Trilingual cat.
She's
a
hanging out with
bilingual
Midnight,
cat.
learning all the ancient tongues.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, is Midnight dead? I didn't understand that. Or did
That's
Midnight
a
just
great
fucking
question,
walk the
actually.
dream.
That's a fantastic
Midnight
question.
shows
What
up
the
in
fuck is up with her?
StarClan during the prologue.
And Blue Star's like, oh, hey, friend.
She's
Okay,
like, I might
whatever.
have to go interfere one more time, and then does not show up.
I have to go talk to these dead cats.
Start
we'll
of
see
next
Midnight
book.
in a future book, because the prophecy of like blood will spill blood, the lake will run red. That prophecy hasn't come true yet. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I assume so. That was not enough blood. More.
That was not enough blood, and that kept happening, and I kept being like, there's not enough of this book left for this prophecy to happen right now. Yeah.
yeah. Well, on that note, I got my rant out of the way. We can take a quick break. I believe a two-leg calls this an intermission.
I believe a two-leg calls this an ad break.
If we had ads. This two-leg's gotta go take a piss.
They call it taking a piss.
In all caps, cat hell is real.
Cat hell is real.
I
A
miss
sign you would see in
Purdy.
the Midwest.
Where's your cat soul going after you die?
Call this number where we will yell at you.
Yeah.
Is hell real? Question mark. Care to chance it? Question mark. That's a sign that you'd see in the Midwest.
Call this number. Call this number, and we'll tell you you're a bad person.
I love those numbers.
Welcome back.
welcome
from the
back to-
break. Fuck you. Come
fuck.
on. You're not even here.
I'm the real leader of Podcast Clan.
Shit, you're right.
They named me.
Hang on, I gotta come up with a vague omen. Water alone can quench your computer. Keep a lid on your cup. That
Me
was
looking around
too
at my
specific.
uncupped
Sorry.
lids. Unlidded
Beware the lid that beware the cup that appears to tip. I think that's good.
Okay, that's good. I had some fresh kill. I feel good and ready to talk about the more important thing, I think, Brambleclaw.
Yeah, let's talk about the main guy. He goes through a lot of emotions in this book. Because he starts
Mainly,
out,
the girlies are fighting.
the girlies are
Girls
fighting.
Fighting.
Him and Squirrelflight finally came together in the last book, and we're like, we love each other. And for the first, like, 8 chapters... By the way, this book has insanely long chapters. I don't know if you guys noticed that as well. But I remember getting to, like, chapter 15 and being like, this book's almost over. For the first, like, third of this book, they're still, like, very lovey-dovey as they're exploring. And
I think they literally say at some points, like, that's the cat I'm going to be with forever, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's very strange because you never really hear that lyric.
Star Clan what your future's going to be. Wink, wink.
Exactly. Like, we don't really hear that language around cat relationships before this point in these books.
Yeah, but then they go through some drama because Squirrelflight really doesn't like Brambleclaw's half-brother, Hawkfrost. And Brambleclaw is taking that and laying it on himself because he's saying shit like, oh, you don't trust him because he's Tiger Star's son? Well, he's my brother. Why can't you let me trust him? Shit like that.
Yeah. If you don't trust him, do you not trust me?
Brambleclaw has a lot of emotions in this book that set him apart. In the same way that, like, Hawkfrost does a lot in this book to set himself apart from Tiger Star, Brambleclaw has a lot of emotions and conflicts in this book that set him apart from Firestar as, like, a new protagonist. And the first of those is, at the beginning of this book, he's really paranoid. Anytime he sees anything two-leg related, it's, like, devastating to him. He's like, how can this be our home when the two legs are just going to come and destroy it again? He's, like, super duper paranoid about
has
it.
PTSD.
Yeah.
I feel like it's related to, like, everything. There's definitely two-leg stuff, but he's just really, really full of doubt for the first time since, like, the first book when he was like, am I fit to lead this group of cats? Like, he was kind of falling into the leadership role, but now, and maybe it has something to do with, like, or it seems kind of like it does have something to do with not being deputy, but, like, he's really doubtful about everything. Like, every decision made for ThunderClan, he's like, are we really safe here? Did I really bring us to the right place? I remember specifically when they find their new camp and there's, like, a cliff, and he's like, a cliff right by camp? Oh no, maybe I fucked up and this isn't where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, it's just a cliff, dude. Like, they exist.
I mean, his conflict also struggles with the fact that they hadn't found the moon pool yet. Like, they, at that point, for most of the book, don't have any confirmation. This is where they're supposed to be. They're just running off of assumptions.
Yeah, they saw the trail of Starlight to the lake at the end of the last book. And that was like, here's our sign, this is where we're supposed to be. But then as they're exploring the territory, he's a little bit like, is this really the right place? Have I led my clan somewhere dangerous? Every sign of danger, like the kitty pets and the two-leg nest and the thunder path and anything else being in the forest besides the clans, he's like really spiraling into doubt and paranoia over.
Yeah, like, I think he even mentions it about foxes and badgers at one point, and I'm like, those were in the forest too. Like,
yeah, like everything that they would deal with here, they had to deal with before. And they're like Tawny Pelt and Mistyfoot are like constantly and Squirrelflight like constantly reminding him of that. We haven't run into anything here that we haven't handled before. But it's
there's
just
a lot of
like,
phraseology.
After Doomsday happens, you see signs of Doomsday, and you're like, "This is it. It's over."
Honestly, I'm more surprised that Firestar hasn't become a fucking conspiracy theorist with everything that he went through.
True.
Like, he's pretty chill, all things considered.
He's staying very strong outside of the reminders of Graystripe's mysterious fate. I think there's one time that Graystripe gets mentioned, or I think Mudclaw calls him out for it, and like Brambleclaw looks up to Firestar, and he looks furious, like he's holding himself back.
Also, we forgot to mention, Leafpool saw a bunch of ancestors when they find the moon pool, and she mentioned she does not see Graystripe.
Oh, that's true.
Important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently he's not dead.
So
or
either Graystripe is dead,
was,
or he died and got
or
lost.
he's lost.
he died and
His
got
ass is
lost.
lost.
His
God,
spirit is
imagine
lost.
losing your clan and losing Star Clan. You're lost from both.
I don't want to think about it. I choose to believe.
Yeah. You just start like haunting Ravenclaw and Barley.
Hey guys,
Doing what Tiger Star does.
Guys,
Can you tell me where they went? I want to go be with StarClan. And Ravenclaw's like, holy shit, there's a ghost in my dreams.
Exactly.
Well, after they get settled, because they get settled pretty quickly and the paranoia kind of goes away. But then Brambleclaw is very like, I want to be deputy. This is something that we're not really used to from our protagonist characters. He's very, very much like, I want and deserve to lead this clan.
I think partly it's because he's struggling with not being a leader of a group anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
For
like,
sure.
the journey to the Sundran place, he was leading, and then he was partially leading their journey out of the clans because he was the most experienced. And he sort of is the most experienced, but now he has to just go back to being a regular warrior again.
Mm-hmm.
People won't listen to him.
Well, some people do listen to him. Weirdly, they're like, is it Dustpelt that says at one point, like, or he's like, a more experienced warrior should be doing this for some task. And somebody is like, you are the most experienced. There are older warriors, but you're the most experienced.
It's Hawkfrost that says that.
Oh, yeah, duh, of course.
Yeah, Mr. Enabler.
Pumping him up.
Yeah, we could talk about that in a second, too. But Brambleclaw has a lot of, like, I want to be deputy, but I'm also afraid of that ambition because he just sees Tiger Star in that.
And so do I, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know
in.
enough about Brambleclaw to be like, I know that he's not gonna become Tiger Star. But he doesn't know that. He has that worry.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting that, like, we never really had that kind of... We had a little bit of internal conflict with Fireheart about, like, being a kitty pet and, like, moving through the ranks so quickly, but it was never him being like, I deserve this and I should be doing this. It was always, should I be doing this? Am I the right cat for this? Whereas Brambleclaw's kind of the opposite, where he's like, StarClan chose me. I am special. I deserve to be deputy. There's a vacancy that Firestar's just not filling.
Honestly, now that you've pointed out that the last book was supposed to be a series end, his characterization makes a bit more sense, I guess, because it did feel like a little strange at first, but I guess if they didn't expect to continue his character, him going in a slightly different direction than I would have expected.
And I think this internal conflict makes sense for him, because like you said, he's been in a leadership position for so long now, and in such trying times.
It makes sense, but he just has so much self-doubt that I did not feel in the past. Mm-hmm. It just felt a bit out of nowhere.
Or, like, he already got over the self-doubt. Like, the first book was a lot about overcoming that self-doubt. In this one, I felt like there was a lot... They implied that there was a lot of, like, stuff tying together, like, losing his friends also. In this, like there's just a lot of different stressors on him that, like, are leading him... Like, I just kind of felt like this is the book where Brambleclaw gets in a bad mood. You know, like he's constantly sad that he can't see his friends anymore. And he's like worried about how the clan relationships are going to go back to being normal. He's worried about whether or not ThunderClan's going to be safe. So many worries. And amongst that, he doesn't even have like the honor of being given the title for the responsibility that he is being given.
And he can't even talk to anybody about it because when he tries to talk to Scrollflight, she gets all just like, I don't trust Hawkfrost.
Yeah.
And so he feels like she doesn't trust him, so he can't even talk about his internal worries and doubts without feeling like he's betraying her or something. It's a whole thing.
I think a big part of Brambleclaw's progression in this book also comes from he had maybe, after Tiger Star's death, gotten over a little bit of his insecurity about being, you know, the descendant of, like, the most evil cat that's ever existed. But now that, like, he found out that Hawkfrost and Mothwing exist, and he's hearing these bad things about Hawkfrost from Squirrelflight, who's hearing them from Leafpool. So he's not even, like, directly seen Hawkfrost do anything bad. It's, like, secondhand information upon secondhand information.
I was going to say, for Squirrelflight, it's like, girl, he hasn't even done anything.
Yeah.
He's just, like, a little moody.
Yeah.
But she really trusts her sister, though, and her sister doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense.
And that causes conflict because Brambleclaw's like, you're only doing this because of what your sister tells you. Well, Hawkfrost is my brother. So why can't I believe him? Why can't I trust in him and have a relationship with him?
And he's also upset because why can't she trust his belief in him?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that
and Porus,
the revelation that like other remnants of Tiger Star exist in the forest kind of reawakened this insecurity in him of like, will people be able to see me beyond my father, or will I always exist in his shadow? Are they not making me deputy because of Tiger Star? And then that leads us into the Hawkfrost radicalization pipeline that
Also,
Brambleclaw starts going down.
just quickly, even at some point when Brambleclaw and Scrollflight are fighting, Leafbull comes over and is like, hey, what's the deal? And she's still not even, like, super gung-ho about her opinion on Hawkfrost. Like,
Yeah.
she's still like, you two need to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just strange to me that Leafpool like has to talk her sister down. That's the moment where Leafpool's like, I'm never gonna have this, but like I can tell that you love each other. Or at least one of those times where she has to talk her down. And there's a few times where I get frustrated with Squirrelpaw and Brambleclaw both. Squirrelflight and Brambleclaw both, because they're being very unwilling to talk to each other.
They're both very obstinate about
Yes, very obstinate.
what they're thinking and what they think the other person is thinking.
Yeah.
Brambleclaw has only ever had pleasant interactions with Hawkfrost. Hawkfrost setting himself aside as an antagonist. And we get a little bit of like dramatic irony in this book because we know what Hawkfrost's true nature is from Leafpool's perspective. So that's one strength to having the split perspectives, is it adds this layer of dramatic irony where like we know that Brambleclaw's going down a dark path, but he doesn't. And Hawkfrost sets himself up very like empathetically, like Brambleclaw, it's okay. They don't understand you, but I do. I'm your brother. I'm here for you. We can understand each other. And that just fuels Brambleclaw's desire to know Hawkfrost better, which pushes him away from all of his relationships in ThunderClan. He sees Squirrelflight goes and starts hanging out with fucking Ash for all the time. Apparently that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's not going to be a very thing for long. It's very obviously reading to me as temporary conflict between lovers. Like, it feels very book 4 of Percy Jackson when Annabelle is mad at Percy. Annabeth. It's been forever.
So Mitchell
Listen,
can't remember
her name could be Squirrelflight for all I care. Yeah, it feels like
It feels like a trope we have seen before.
Yeah, they're going to be together
for sure. Yeah, but like, for right now, this conflict is driving them apart and driving Squirrelflight seemingly towards someone else, like another safe space that she can go to outside of her now strained relationship with Brambleclaw. There's so many times in this book where Squirrelflight is like trying to make amends with Brambleclaw, and Brambleclaw just says the dumbest thing possible, and then she like walks away, and he's like, "Fuck! I fucked it up! No!"
He's like, "Wait," and she doesn't wait, and he's like, "Oh,
That's what kind of bothers me. It's one of those conflicts where it's like, if they just talk to each other, we could sort this out. But they both keep saying that the other one doesn't want to talk to them when they both keep trying to talk to each other, and at a certain point, it is a little frustrating. Squirrelflight's like, he doesn't want to talk to me, as like from his perspective, we constantly see that he does want to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no self-reflection going on, because if you think that he doesn't want to talk to you, but then you also don't realize that he asks you to go hunting, and you're like, I'm gonna go hunting with somebody else. It's like you're not really giving him a chance to talk to you.
He constantly shouts her name and runs a little bit after her, and then she just runs away. And it's like, bitch, he is trying to talk to you.
And then on the other hand, like, she is talking to him, and he's just saying, I don't like what you're saying.
He's just saying, like, yeah,
constantly.
whatever. Nothing's going on. And she's like, I can tell that's not true. And you clearly don't want to talk to me. Because he has this dream, the Cat Hell dream, the Cat Hell is real dream, where he's in the old ThunderClan camp, in the old Hollow in the old territory, and he meets with Tiger Star very briefly. And that's where Tiger Star drops the, like, I don't hunt with StarClan, there are other skies out there and hunting grounds that StarClan doesn't know about. So that's very scary. Tiger Star is cementing his place as still a villain in this story. whether or not he can directly interfere with the events of the story, he can manipulate living characters potentially through their dreams.
Also, Hawkfrost is in the dream.
Yeah, Hawkfrost shows up in that dream and gets to meet
And
his
they're both
dad.
just like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Yeah, they're
In the
super
dream,
casual about it.
Yeah, I know it's a dream, but in the dream, neither of them is like cares at all. They're not like, "What the hell's going on?"
I assume that both of them were like, "Oh, this isn't real," but then like Hawkfrost mentioned something about like chasing a badger out of RiverClan camp, and then they mentioned that again at the gathering, and Brambleclaw's like, "Holy fuck, that was real. That really happened."
He's like, how else would I know about it before it happened?
Yeah, I could not have dreamed this information that I did not know about before. So that's exciting. I'm very excited to Tiger Star literally haunting the narrative as well as figuratively haunting the narrative.
It is very interesting, but it does sort of make me dread future books a little bit of what manipulation is going to occur from the stars. Like, how long before StarClan is giving cats superpowers via their spirits and shit?
And it's always
like,
ThunderClan cats.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to get a little convoluted down the line.
How pissed would you be to be like a WindClan cat and it's like, oh yeah, the dead Shadow Clan leader is giving the ThunderClan cat superpowers. Who fucking cares? I'm over here. My name's Gorsepaw. I'm the 4th Gorsepaw this month.
4th Gorsepaw.
My name's fucking Little Step. No one's looked at me in 5 years.
They don't even list me in the allegiances page. Why do
I'm dating my cousin. Nobody cares that I'm dating my cousin.
Oh, I was thinking
I
about
have a
that.
lot of interpersonal conflicts, but nobody seems to give a shit.
It's like, oh yeah, sure, like one cat from every clan got chosen to go on this journey, but also Leafpaw just gets to hang out with dead cats all the time. Why doesn't my medicine cat do that?
Yeah, that's
And if you're a River Clan, your medicine cat doesn't even fucking believe in Star Clan. You're fucked, man.
Can you
You've got
imagine
an
going to
atheist
church?
pastor.
Can you imagine going to church confessional and you're like, "I'm sorry, Father, I have done this sin and this sin," and you're like, "Oh, that's okay, cool. See you next week."
not even
And you're
man.
like, "What?"
It's fine.
Hey, like,
You're
who are
good.
you apologizing to? You know that guy's not listening, right? You know that guy doesn't exist. Like, you're my priest. What are we doing here?
It's so over.
Could you imagine if there were Star Clan confessionals?
I know that we already
New
talked about this
B-side
stuff, but we're
episode
supposed to
idea?
be talking about StarClan confessionals. That's a good episode idea. Yeah, B-side episode.
Forgive me, warriors ancestors, for I have eaten fresh kill before feeding the elders.
I know we already talked about this. They're supposed to be on Brambleclaw, but that I do also find it's so YA protagonist how quickly all the medicine cats are like, "Leafpool, you're the best medicine cat. StarClan loves you, and you're the
Yeah.
best."
You have such a special connection to the stars. Wow.
I can't wait till we're on like series 15 and it's like, okay, so everyone's special?
Yeah, our
Yeah.
next medicine cat's gonna be even cooler. They're gonna be able to
The
go
cooler
like
medicine cat.
while they're like out on patrol. They're just gonna be able to be like, "Hey, StarClan, what's up?"
Yeah. Oh,
They just have a modern phone and can text them
Yeah.
anytime.
They just cast what's that D&D spell where you just like get to talk to your god as a cleric? They just do that. They just get that all the time.
Ancestral Recall?
Something like that.
No, that summons a
I don't
ghost
know.
or
Like
something.
Don't play.
We're cutting this out. That's lame of us.
What?
Just to get a D&D spell wrong.
Oh. It's lame to
Yeah, you
know
better
D&D,
cut that out
but it's
before
even
the-
lamer to not know D&D as well as you should.
Yeah.
Better cut it out because the backseaters for D&D are going to be in the fucking comments.
If they listen to every episode,
Actually, fuck it up on purpose so they will be in our comments and that'll boost our engagement.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Did we say something wrong? Get mad at us.
Email
Be
us.
mad at us.
Like
Email
the
us
video
anything
and
you'd
leave
like.
a comment.
No, I think that they're gonna reset the series in terms of superpowers and stuff by making the next series of 6 books really like grim and like harrowing. It'll be like Game of Thrones.
my
but
God,
for
it's
cats,
gonna
where,
be like
everything's terrible constantly.
DC Justice
and there's
League.
no powers. Yeah, exactly. They won't do that.
What were we talking about?
Bramble Claw.
Brambleclaw. Yeah.
Brambleclaw.
I just really like this story. I'm very interested in Brambleclaw's perspective, and this book written in like 2006, telling such an interesting story about like how a bad person can appeal to your insecurities and emotions to bring you down a darker path and remove you from the support systems that could help you.
Honestly, incredible story about young men falling for propaganda.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how easily they can be taken down a pipeline because of their insecurities.
Yeah, it's someone saying they don't understand what you're feeling. They think you're bad, but I don't. I think you're normal, and I love you, and I care about you, and I'll support you. But not truly having their best intentions at heart.
I mean, yeah, also incredible like story about like a cult leader essentially. Like,
Yeah.
they do the same shit.
This is Simpsons level of prescience about like
At this point, every influencer is trying to do Hawk
Every
Frost shit to
influencer
you.
is Hawk Frost. And we don't have
we're
to
3
name
Hawk
anyone
Frosts
specific.
on a podcast.
Yeah,
We're trying to influence you into reading Warrior
there are
Cats.
too many Hawk Frost podcasts out there.
True. True.
Your
I
friends think your ideas about warrior cats are stupid, not us. We like your ideas about warrior cats, and we'll support you.
we think you're right in disliking Scourge. Ignore how much the fandom likes him.
Other people think Warrior Cats is lame, but we don't. You can trust
We
us.
understand
You can trust
you. Send us $100.
Give us your routing number.
You're right.
Give us the full routing number to your bank account.
Send me $500 in gift cards.
iTunes gift cards, please.
iTunes. What
That
are we
used to be
spending
the
that
old
on?
scam.
Toasty
I
is
gotta get all the
500
new
years old.
BTS music videos.
We actually live in Africa, and if you just wire us $500, we can send you your inheritance of $1 million.
I am a prince from the tribe of rushing water. If you give me 5 mice, I will wire you your inheritance of 20 fresh kill piles.
We can't stay serious for 1 minute.
No, why would we?
It's because Bramble-Claw's shit's just like sad.
Yeah. It's interesting, but at the same time, he's being a very brooding teenager during this.
Oh,
so
for
at parts,
sure.
it's like, all right, man, all right,
These are like
let's buck up a bit.
Squirrelflight and Bramble-Claw are both young characters. Bramble-Claw's a little bit older, but like they're both definitely played as being very young, and they've had this or at least Bramble-Claw has had this great destiny hoisted upon him, and now he feels like it's kind of just vanished. So he's just looking for a place, and Hawk Frost is offering him that place while Squirrelflight is kind of pushing him away with her rightful paranoia about Hawk Frost. Like, we as the audience know that Squirrelflight is correct. But she's also...
Squilf is also being pulled between Leaf Pool's opinions and her boyfriend's opinions, her sister and her boyfriend. Like, that's a difficult place to be in, family versus chosen family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I really like this because I think I had expressed concern in the second book about, like, Hawk Frost's function as an antagonist when he played his cards so early about, like, Tiger Star made some good points, he just did it the wrong way. Just kind of being, like, the dictator apologist character and being like, I'm gonna do it, but better. And me being like, well, how is that gonna be interesting when I already know you're evil? But now I'm in a perspective where we don't know he's evil, and he actually is really interesting. And the way he plays with, he appeals to emotions in both Bramble-Claw and Mudclaw in this book, to push to
he
further.
He gets much better at like interpolitical conflict in this.
Because Tiger Star was very just like might makes right. Like if anyone disagrees with me, I'll just beat them up, because I'm the strongest, coolest cat that's ever existed. Whereas Hawk Frost, on, you know, the tails of that being like, well, that didn't work. He's playing a much more manipulative game of like, Tiger Star was manipulative too, but he was mostly manipulative with like warping facts. Whereas Hawk Frost is like appealing to emotion, which I find very, very interesting.
But he also makes himself seem logical,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I guess that's part of what manipulating emotion does, is like he seems like a trustworthy, stables like place to follow, even though he has personal gain and power as his end goal.
Yeah.
Like it seems like he just wants what's best for everybody.
So like the big betrayal and conflict at the end is
Mistyfoot.
Mistyfoot comes running into ThunderClan and is like, hey guys, I think some bad shit's about to happen. Like, I saw Hawkfrost and Mudclaw talking to each other, and at first I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but then I think Hawkfrost has also been talking to ShadowClan as well. And she's like, we have to go check out WindClan. I think they're going to attack WindClan.
Yeah, we find out that Mudclaw and Hawkfrost devised this plot to kill One Whisker before he could get his 9 lives, and reinstate Mudclaw as the, like, rightful ruler of WindClan. Right, I say ruler. Rightful leader of WindClan. I don't know if Mudclaw's, like, evil. I think he's just kind of a dickhead.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be a fine leader. He'd just be, like, needlessly...
He's just a British
he'd probably
dickhead.
just be like Leopard Star, just, like, very aggressive and very set in his way and very, like, my clan first, regardless of what it means for the well-being of all 4.
Yep.
Maybe that's mean to Leopard Star. I don't know. Leopard Star's fine in this book. She doesn't do much, which is great, because when she does things, it usually upsets me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they devise this plan, and then, you know, ThunderClan gets involved, and RiverClan, and they fight in this battle to protect One Whisker. By the end of this battle, Hawkfrost and Mudclaw are retreating, and Brambleclaw chases after them along, like, the shoreline of the lake. Very cool, like, cinematic scene.
Yeah.
Them, like, chasing each other down in the dead of night.
A lot happens. So it's a little confusing, to be honest.
Pull up
because it's also, like, raining, so we're getting points of perspective from when we see lightning flash, which is, again, cinematically awesome.
Cool as hell.
But a little confusing for following what's happening.
Oh yeah, here's what happens. Brambleclaw tries to leap on Mudclaw, but they're running through the marsh, so Brambleclaw beefs it hard. And Mudclaw ends up pinning him down. And right when Mudclaw's gonna kill him, Hawkfrost turncoats and knocks Mudclaw down and pins him down. And Hawkfrost starts saying a bunch of stuff about, like, I believe that Mudclaw's the rightful leader of WindClan, but you're my brother, and I would never let anything bad happen to you. Taking this opportunity again to, like, really bury himself in Brambleclaw's emotions, like, as this system
Also,
of love and support.
The second he's caught, he immediately goes, this was Mudclaw's idea. He said if I didn't help him, he would attack RiverClan, so I agreed to take a couple of our warriors to help. And Mudclaw goes, he's fucking lying. And Hawkfrost is like, who are you gonna believe?
Yeah, Mudclaw.
And also, other ThunderClan cats show up to hear that.
Yeah.
Mudclaw drops the bomb that Hawkfrost supposedly joined in on this plot on the condition that Mudclaw would make Hawkfrost the deputy of WindClan, which is crazy.
So we do not know who is telling the truth because they both suck.
Yeah.
I think that it's supposed to. I think the audience is supposed to see pretty clearly that Hawkfrost is the one lying, based on the characterization of Mudclaw as, like, not evil, just a bit of an asshole and a dipshit.
What if they're both, like, half truths?
They might both be half truths.
Yeah, it's tough to know.
I typically just get this sense in these books that it's like, I don't know. I just got the sense that we were supposed to believe that Mudclaw was telling the truth, and that Hawkfrost was lying to Brambleclaw. But maybe that's just my bias.
I feel like the deputy thing is too big of a lie, because, like, everyone believes you. Hawkfrost gets killed or whatever for making this deal. What position does that leave Mudclaw in? He agreed to make a cat from another clan his deputy?
Yeah, it's just so convoluted. It's like, damn, Hawkfrost is good at manipulation.
Yeah.
He is good at making good enough lies, and Mudclaw might have been stupid enough to tell a bad one. It's crazy.
He's
it is very
good
interesting.
lies to the right people.
Yeah.
Also,
during this, Squilf overhears him, and so obviously now she fucking hates Hawkfrost with her whole being. She's like, this is proof, because she chooses to believe Mudclaw.
And she's like, why
lying.
did you let him go?
Yeah. And then, it's not from this moment, but it is a quote from Brambleclaw that I want to say. Because I want to get back into quoting from the book, just to prove we've read it. It says Brambleclaw stared past Hawkfrost into the shadows at the edge of the clearing, waves of loss and disbelief surging around him like the churning, choking water of Sundrown Place. Which is how he felt after Scrollflight ran away from him after this. And that was so the heartbreak.
So sad.
Yeah, really. My
favorite line from the whole book.
I like that they bring it back to Brambleclaw and Squirrelflight because I think that is the most important core of it. Like, the reason that he's drawn to Hawkfrost is that he's losing his other places to feel safe.
Yeah. I think that trio dynamic is really well explored in this book, and I'm very excited to see it move forward. I am a little bit, sad that the next book's probably not going to be a Brambleclaw POV, because I want more. But, if we end up back in a Squilf POV, I'll be okay with that too, because I'd like to explore this conflict from her direct inner thoughts as well.
Also, I want to say about the quote, I really like it because saying you're drowning is a very overused metaphor, but using that metaphor when it comes from a character who has drowned and gone through something really overwhelming, I think that is very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes a lot more
grounding
sense.
It.
Yeah, comparing that feeling to a real terrifying thing he's been through. Very effective. The way this conflict resolves, I find really funny. I don't know if you guys also found it funny. Lightning strikes, it knocks a tree from the island down, and it crushes Mudclaw, and everyone's like, we don't give a fuck. We can go to the island now. We can cross this tree bridge.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Well, first they're like, well, this is what StarClan wants, clearly. One Whisker must be the one true guy.
One Whisker is the rightful leader.
But it is so fucking funny that they wrap up Where to Have the Gathering with such a neat little bow. They're like, don't worry, this tree just fell, which could get us to the island.
And I like that as
it's
a deed from StarClan that fulfills multiple purposes. It gives them a gathering point, which had been another point of concern throughout the book, where they were like, we need somewhere. There's one point where they had a gathering at their little tree stump place that they started the book at, but then they get attacked by foxes in the middle of it. And there's a big deal about we need a place that's better protected to have our gatherings if we're going to bring our apprentices and elders.
Yeah, there's multiple problems with it. It's also directly on RiverClan.
Yeah. So Leopard Star's
and
not
they're
happy
like,
with
we
that.
don't like
and
this.
she cedes. She's like, I'll let you guys use this territory for now, but if it becomes a problem, I will push that we find a different place.
And they keep drawing attention to it a little in a funny way. I think early on, all four of the leaders are trying to stand on the stump, and they can't all fit, and one Whisker falls off. I think it's pretty funny.
I think one Whisker gets ready to jump up there, and Black Star is like, no, don't even try. Which
also, I honestly completely forgot that Mudclaw got fucking crushed by the tree. This whole recording, I was like, wait, what happens to him? Does he just run away?
By a tree.
I forgot.
He gets Firestarred in this book.
Firestarred?
Yeah, Firestar got killed by a tree in the last book. Do you not remember that?
That's true, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he did die, but he got his 9 lives.
I feel like that...
So.
I maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like that was a really big meme in the fandom when I was a kid reading these books, is Firestar, the great noble leader and war hero, gets killed by a falling tree. It's if there's any Dragon Ball fans listening, it's like Goku having to go Super Saiyan 4 to lift a building. It's he's Superman. Why does he have to power all the way up to lift a building? It's like the Superman of cats getting killed by a tree. Is a little funny.
Yeah, and then calling it getting Firestarred.
Yeah.
If I had a nickel for every time a cat was Firestarred,
I'd have 2 nickels. And only one of them.
I don't know how often
sure
trees actually fall over, but they make it seem like all the time.
Yeah.
Depends on how bad the storms are where you live, I guess.
I just thought it was funny that they're just we don't give a fuck about Mudclaw anymore. We can go to the island. This is awesome.
Yeah, they don't bring up at all if they're gonna mourn for him or bury him.
I guess not.
They're just like, oh, sweet.
He's evil.
The island.
Yeah, Tiger Star in Cat Hell is growing his army of evil cats.
Yeah.
Mudclaw goes and joins it.
No. Do you think he's plotting somehow to come back and take over ThunderClan? Do you think he's trying to fucking possess somebody?
Tiger Star?
I bet eventually we're gonna get a ghost war where StarClan has to fight Tiger Star's Hellcat.
I'm so excited for the ghost war.
The cat ghost war. Oh my gosh. Is there anything else in this book?
I don't have anything to say about this book, But can they make the titles shorter? Can they make the, like, sub-series shorter? Just fucking Warriors, The Prophecy Begins, Starlight. Googling these books every time is a little annoying, because you put just Prophecy in the title, and it's like, do you mean, like, the new Prophecy Begins, or the New Prophecy? Or...
Yeah. I thought you meant just, like, the name the name of the book itself, and I was like, they're already only one word. What do you want?
I'm
talking about typing a whole sentence to find the one word book.
Yeah.
I want book A, B, C, D, E, and F.
Yeah. Series 1, Book A. This is Warriors 1A. This is where you start. Shout out to that one scene where Little Cloud talks about eating toads and everyone kind of gives him a weird look. That was funny.
That was fun.
They're like,
that.
yucky, dude.
He's like, they're kind of good. We ate them when there was nothing else. And I know that motherfucker secretly loves eating frogs.
Recently, I saw one of those memes about cats that are so popular online. You guys know those things?
No.
No, I haven't heard of them.
Just to somebody
Meme of a
who
cat?
heard. Recently, I saw one of those like text posts. Somebody was like yelling at their cat for eating a potato, and they yelled at them, "You are an obligate carnivore," and that's
Yeah.
really been stuck in my head. Looking at this book, I'm like, nobody
Also-
would actually care about eating frogs. Cats will eat anything.
Cats will eat
Little-
plastic.
Little Cloud bringing up the toads and everybody being like gross reminds me of when you try to tell people what you ate growing up when you're poor.
Yeah.
Like, y'all didn't have this?
So true. Wow.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, just because it's fun, is there's so many fun warrior sayings that the cats come up with because they're not people. My favorite one from this book is, "I'm so tired I couldn't catch a mouse if it sat on my paws," courtesy of Squirrel Flight. So I want to pitch that the three of us come up with our own warriors
Oh, no.
warriors versions of real life sayings. I, of course, being evil, had time to consider this before pitching it to my two co-hosts, so I'll go first. The one that I came up with is, "We'll eat that prey when we catch it."
Okay. So I'm trying to think of that's a good adaptation of "We'll cross that bridge when we come to
Yeah,
it."
that's what I'm talking about. Just like a cat adaptation of like a famous saying.
Okay, then like this. How about talking about another cat who's pompous and arrogant? You could use it to describe Hawk Frost. You'd say, "Hawk Frost acts like they don't need to bury their dirt." Like,
That's awesome. I want that on a shirt.
I'm trying to think of any saying.
The other one in these books that I really like is like when someone says like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and the other person's really mad. They go, "Sorry catches no fresh kill." Sorry doesn't put food on the table.
You can lead a cat to water, but you can't make it catch fish.
You can lead
Huh?
you can lead a cat to
Huh?
water, but you can't make it smell the dead rabbit in the water.
True.
and you can take that to the fresh kill pile
It's water under the tree.
when you're telling the truth. It's Mudclaw under the tree.
It's Mudclaw under the tree.
It's
I mean,
water under
my
the half
favorite-
bridge.
Water under the half bridge.
My favorite saying in any like fantasy series is when they make up a word for God because they want to say "thank God," and so it's "thanks Star
Thanks,
Clan"
Star
or
Clan.
Yeah,
whoever.
that's a good one.
Oh, we also didn't mention that the rogues or the kitty pets or whoever they are in this territory call the two legs nofers. So we got three
Yeah,
different
I
words.
love all the words we're gathering for.
We got three different words for people now. We got
For
two
humans.
legs, we got upwalkers, and we got nofers.
Why aren't any other words they use different? Why is it always just how they refer to people?
Yeah, I want to know what all the other cat words for cars are.
Do you think every other cat calls them cars and they're like, what
Absolutely.
the fuck are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, the kitty pets in this area see the boat and they're like, "You mean the water behemoth?" Ugh. And they're like, "What do you
The
know? It's a
sea
boat."
beast.
And then they're like, our nofers take their cars down to the lake to get in the water behemoths. They're like, "What, you mean monsters?"
They're like, "You mean boat?" How do we rate this?
Oh, you
book?
know what? One last thing.
Oh,
One last thing.
Never mind.
Okay.
Like 3 fucking times in this book, they're like, "Be careful of the cliff by ThunderClan's new camp," and then two helpless, poor Shadow Clan warriors tumble head over heels over the cliff. And when I was reading this, I wasn't sure. Does that cliff go down into the little crevice that the camp is in?
I think
Because
so.
I'm just what the fuck? I'm imagining all the clan cats down there just watching two Shadow Clan warriors splat into the middle of
break their necks
camp.
on the middle of camp.
They have to get them out of there and take them back to Shadow Clan.
Yeah, they're like, here's your
everybody's just like
corpses.
sharing
Sorry,
tongues,
bud.
eating, and they just like watch
Well,
this happen.
no, they were sheltered in the cave for medicine cats. They say that.
Oh, good, because I'm imagining all the apprentices running around.
Don't worry, like the singular kid.
Yeah, poor
see the
Birch Kit
two
just
Shadow
watches
Warriors
two
break
cats
their necks.
die right in front of him.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Primuel for the world.
He
we live
also
in.
nearly died.
That was my first thought, but yeah, that's all.
All right, good book. How do we? What's our rating?
4 fresh kill out of 5.
I give this 8 sips of tainted water out of 10. Maybe 8.5.
I
don't know,
I
you could
would
take a
say
half sip.
it's one island in the middle of a lake out of one island.
2 broken
Okay.
necks out of 2 Shadow Clan warriors. Well, this has been our review of Warriors book
I forgot
10,
how to do this.
2x4 Starlight. If you have thoughts about this book, or if there's anything that we neglected to talk about, leave a comment on YouTube or Spotify, and we will see it and maybe respond to it. I'd just like to leave another reminder to please not mention anything that happens in future books, because we are planning on reading everything, and we want to preserve the release date experience as much as we possibly can. Or if you want to reach out to us more directly, you can email us. Our email is warriorspod, PAWD, @gmail.com. Or you can find us on social media. We're on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, @warriorspod, PAWD. Hit us up, post about us. You might get a mention on the show.
Yeah, we're very thankful anytime anybody shows interest.
Yeah.
If I will plug for myself, getting politically involved in the processes of our country and stuff. It's great. It makes you feel much better about the state of the world when you're trying to do your part
Makes you feel
to
less
make things
helpless.
better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
You can find me on all socials at Itty Bitty Toasty, and I'm on Twitch at A Little Bit Toasty. And I would actually like to give a shout out to a Warriors artist on Tumblr really quickly.
Ooh.
It is Kiris Clangen, Kiris Clangen, on Tumblr, because I use their art to study, to draw our little guys, and I've never shouted them out before. And I really appreciate their art, especially because they made their own clan, so I can study cat art without getting spoilers. They're phenomenal artists.
Shit, that rules.
Very skilled.
That's awesome.
And I thoroughly enjoy seeing all of their funny little guys. So please go give them a follow, or just go check out their art.
Nice. We'll put it in the description.
Oh, yeah. If you want to check me out, I'm on Twitch sometimes. That's twitch.tv/Jaron D Ratman. That's pretty much all I do online, is I do this, and I do streams when I have time, which is not often, because I am a full-time college student, but we ball sometimes, and it's fun.
It is a ball.
And if you enjoy listening to us, check out our spin-off podcast where we talk about what it would be like to hang out with our most evil ancestors. Mitchell's will
you guys-
shock you.
Do you guys know my great-grandparents were brother and sister?
I did know that.
Do you know that some of my extended family was a part of the mafia? Anyways,
That's way cooler than mine. That's
Did you know that my 4 times great-grandfather ran a wood cutting mill?
That's very cool.
That's
Good for
awesome.
him. Awesome.
Oh, well, anyway, thank you
All
guys
right.
for listening, and we will see you next moon.
Until next moon.
Until next moon. Anytime I'm out in the sun now, I have to wear UV protective clothing.
Blech.
I look like one of those weird anti-aging people, and it's like, no, I just have diseases. I like
Yeah.
wrinkles.
I'm trying to get as many wrinkles as possible.
Yeah. I'm
why I
wrinkle maxing.
That's why I sleep every night folded up in a drawer.
Hell yeah.
I sleep with pillows on either side of my head, so I could...
Yeah.
Sprinkle them as much as possible.